Alright, let's keep going, and hopefully this is a cat-free zone. Up next is Moon Dance, Van Morrison, Gatefold, another record off my Grail list. Really happy with this one. This is what I would call an Canadian olive green Warner. These to me are just amazing pressings. They were first pressings, the olive green Warners, Van Morrison stuff from that generation. I think there's a James Taylor coming up that's the same. They're always excellent sounding, really full range of dynamics. And a fantastic record. I believe it was recorded in Woodstock. He moved up there to be near Dylan and lived there for a year and never met Dylan once until much later. Dylan apparently didn't want to have anything to do with him at the time. So that was kind of interesting. Next one is another one that Mark showed, Glass Orchid Aftermath, area code 615. It's Nashville session musicians doing like a folk southern rock kind of mix. Lots of great covers here. Hey Jude, Lady Madonna, Classical Gas, Just Like a Woman. It's you know, it's completely different. Blind Buy for me when I bought it. Really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward. They did a second record, so I got my eye out for that. Next one was total blind buy. The area code 615 was like $1. This was a total blind buy, and so glad I found it. Thunderbug Strikes. This is, I mean, how could you not buy this record with a set of fine-looking gentlemen like these guys on the back cover? Canadian band. Never heard of them before in my life. They're on the Axe label. I'll just show that in case nobody's seen this label. They were released into the US as well, but when their albums were released into the US, they had a completely different lineup of songs. So their US pressings are different than their Canadian pressings. This is the first Canadian pressing. And I got this for $2, and I was really glad to get it. It's kind of like a hard rock, kind of, you know, rockin' record. The big hit on here that got them all the attention was a cover of a Kinks song, Yeah, You Really Got Me. So if you ever see this, grab it. And if you see the Canadian copy, it's actually worth a bit of coin. They were produced by Terry Brown, who produced Rush and a couple other bands. So another one is that I got recently was the band, self-titled, Gatefold. A nice early pressing, not a first pressing. It's on the Orange Capital, which is not the first pressing label. This was a perfect copy until I got a kitten, and she's asleep in the other room right now, so we might actually get some peace. Great record. If you can find it, grab it. Next is Jack the Toad, Savoy Brown. This is an interesting gatefold. And this is on the Parrot label. Let's pull it out and show you. Savoy Brown, not a band I'm familiar with, so another glaring hole in my listening experience, but you know, we all come from different places. Pretty good record. Friends of mine who are fans of Savoy Brown say that's not the one to get into them with, but it's the one I found, and it was good. Definitely had me looking for more. Something we don't see very often is some classical music. This is a Living Stereo, Bartok, Boston Symphony Orchestra with Eric Leisendorf. I believe it's what's called Shaded Dog. I pick up the living stereos whenever I see them. They're some of the best classical records out there. I have a friend who likes them too, so I always know somebody will enjoy them. Next is something I got at a show out of a dollar bin. Ray Charles, Sweet and Sour Tears. I think I've had this in the inbox for like 9 months. Finally got around to cleaning it and listening to it. This is on the Canadian Spartan label. Spartan had the rights to release, I can't remember what label this was originally on, but they had the, ABC Paramount. Spartan had the rights to release ABC Paramount in Canada, so that's what they all were. And this is an album about crying, apparently, because I think every single track has the word cry or tears in the cover. So, awesome record. If you see this in the dollar bin, run and grab it. Cry, guess I'll hang my tears out to dry. A tear fell, no one to cry to. You've got me crying again. After my laughter came tears, teardrops from my eyes. Don't cry, baby. Cry me a river, baby. Don't you cry. Willow weep for me, and I cried for you. Next is James Taylor, One Man Dog. Again, just another example of a Canadian Green Warner. This would be first pressing of this in Canada. Fantastic, just sounds awesome. If you're in Canada and you see Canadian Green Warners of records that you like, buy them. You'll probably be pretty happy you did. Next is Santana 3. This is a gatefold. Unipack. And this is what's called a, oops. This is known as a Columbia 2i. Fantastic record. Cannot go wrong with this. And of note on this record is Tower Power playing horns. And I can't remember who. Neil Schon on guitar, who was only with them for one album. He was, I think, 17 at the time, and did this album with them, and then went on to start Journey. Chris Baskett recommended that I check out a copy of John Barleycorn Must Die by Traffic when I posted the Traffic in the other thing, and in the earlier one, and I subsequently went out at 2 o'clock in the morning and bought one. No, I had this one here. A friend of mine owns a record store, and he had a good buy of records, and I bought a bunch of them, and they were all great. And this came from that collection, but somebody got it and was unhappy with it and brought it back. And he said, take it home, clean it up, see what you got. It's yours. And I cleaned it up, and it's absolutely perfect. So next is James Taylor, Mudslide Jim, and the Blue Horizon. This is a German Unipack. D. Brown showed this a couple weeks ago, German, so nothing really to show there. Next is Barclay James Harvest and Other Short Stories. This is great. I love this graphic here. Fantastic. Fantastic bit of artwork there. And again, this is a gatefold. And I picked up another Barclay James Harvest before. It's the one with the die cut cover. 3 or 4 albums down the road from this. I was not at all impressed with it, but I, thought I would just keep trying things, and I was able to find this, and it's on the Sire label. Not quite sure if it's first pressing. It seems to be a pretty early pressing. It sounds great, and it's a great record. So, just if you try something and you don't like it, just keep on going, because you might find something from a band that you didn't think you'd like that you did. Next is my old copy of Tangerine Dream Stratosphere. I've had this since I was like 14 years old, listened to it all through high school, and I haven't really listened to it in like a quarter century. And it's a gatefold, and just a Canadian pressing, but Zip Tie listened to it recently and was talking about it, and it made me go pull it out and clean it up and give it a listen, and I can see why he wants to become an astronaut. Next one is Tir na Nog. This is an Irish Celtic folk band, 1970 I believe, maybe 71 or 2, on the Green Chrysalis label, which was a subsidiary of Island. This is a first pressing. It's A1U stamper and B1U stamper, which is the same kind of stamp code that that Genesis record I showed in another thread uses, so it's a good way to tell if you got a first pressing. There's a whole, all the ones from the same company over there, from the same house, kind of use that similar matrix code at the end to denote first pressings. So if you ever, if you're digging around, you see that, that's a good sign you might have something. That's like kind of Celtic folk, but little not so traditional. All the songs are their own, and it's excellent. I highly recommend it if you like folk music, if you like Celtic music, if you like stuff like early Clannad, if you like Chieftains, if you like anything like that, like give it a Planksty. I would recommend you give it a try. And then finally is an album from David Byrne, Music for the Knee Plays by Robert Wilson and David Byrne, from Robert Wilson's The Civil Wars. The tree is best measured when it's down. This is on ECM, so I bought it because it's on ECM for one, because anything ECM I devour. And this is a really interesting record. It wasn't what I was expecting, but the music's fantastic. It's got a great lineup of jazz musicians on it, and the music has a real jazz sensibility to it. Some might argue that it's not jazz because it's probably all written ahead of time. I don't think it's very improvised. I think it's pretty formalized. And David Byrne's reading and talking over the music throughout it, so it's kind of in a way like an art piece or a stage piece. I mean, it makes sense that it's kind of what it is. It's not what I expected it would be, and it's actually really good. I really enjoyed it, and if you see this record, pick it up. All right, there, I got through it all, and have a great day and keep the record spinning.